thanks for coming out. We're going to do it differently today. So today we do a Q&A. So if you have any questions or if you have any queries or situations you need to deal with, we can do that. And we can do it individually as well. However, if you keep your questions straight so we can move on quickly. So we'll deal with, I think we've dealt with most issues by now. So from parking tickets to mortgage, so anything in between. If anyone has any of those issues, any question?
How do you deal with parking tickets?
Parking tickets, you have two, private and public. If it's a public one, you can discharge it using your national insurance number. If it's a private one, you can, if you have no privity contract with the private company, you can explain that to them that you have no contract, there's no terms to enforce. That's about it with parking tickets. Everything public, by the way, is you have an exemption. If you have a national insurance number, it means your public utilities are paid for. So things like water, electricity, and gas, that's paid for already. However, you need to discharge it yourself. So you need to know how to write a notice of set-off or discharge for public utilities, that's all. So, but right now we have too many samples online anyway, so if you need that kind of stuff, you can get it. It's called acceptance for value. It's a commercial process. In commerce, there's only 4 responses. 2 of them are honorable, 2 are dishonorable. So the 2 honorable responses are condition acceptance and acceptance. So this, endorsing your documents by putting on it acceptance for value, that's an acceptance, which keeps you in commercial honor. If you condition accept it as well, that keeps you in commercial honor. If you ignore it or argue with them, that's dishonor. You're going to lose, they're going to fine you, and they're going to collect on your Cyprus Trust account. Okay. Anyone else? Anything else?
What's your thinking of going to the Treasury and claiming your trust back? I know there's two.
Right.
Steve from.
Right.
Steve McCrae from Manchester. He thinks you should go straight to the Vatican,
Right.
and then go to the Treasury. What's your thinking on that, please?
I don't think on that at all, because I'm not in the money game at all. Zero interest whatsoever in it. That's just me.
Yeah.
I didn't get into this because of the money.
Well, I don't think.
We came in through a different route. We are metaphysicists. We are here to wake people up in terms of who they are and how their body functions. Right. So that is all. When it comes to research, there's a whole bunch of people doing research on the money side. I haven't done it myself. I know how bank works and how money is created. However, I haven't researched on how to access the account, right. So I have no knowledge of it. Right. So I can't comment on that.
Yeah, but if you don't control that account, they will control it.
Yeah, they will control it because it's their account. You see, it's their account, it's not yours.
Yeah, but we're all lost at sea. They stole it when I was born.
They didn't steal anything. What they did
well,
was...
they created that account to steal my energy.
They create homes. They do.
What I'm saying is, all right, guys, please, let's not start the argument. Let's just do the questions and answer the questions.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, they created the account, which means the account belongs to them, because they created it.
Okay.
What you're supposed to do is create another account, okay, and take the name and run the name. So you're going to create your own trust, separate from their one, and run your trust with your name. You see, that's what we're trying to do on this side, is to take control or copyright your name or trademark your name so that they cannot use it on their side. That's all we're doing on this side. But the money that they create, the fake, there's no money by the way, because the fake money they've created using this straw man, I don't believe it belongs to me, so I'm not going to look for it. It's none of my concern. That's why my research has been taken in there. However, there are people who do that, and I believe there's a few people who have actually got some money back from Treasury. So I don't know how they've done it, but I haven't researched it yet.
Okay.
So probably somebody else will be able to help you on that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but critically, the point is that you need to take charge of your name, because your name is being used or abused when somebody is making money off it.
Yeah, but, excuse me, the Pope said 3 weeks ago, the Christian side belongs to Christ,
Yep.
but the name belongs to the church.
Yes.
This is it.
The surname belongs to him.
Yeah, I know, that's
Yeah.
what Pope Francis said. I think it was 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Your surname then?
Pardon?
You're still using your surname?
Well, how can you get out of it? How can you work in conflict?
Right, he's told you that. And that's the reality of it. Look, your surname is owned by the Vatican.
Correct.
So as long as
said
you,
that 3 weeks
as
ago.
long as you're using that name, you're going to stand as surety for all these charges. So you need to know what names you're going to use. You understand one thing, you are not a name. This is
Yeah,
what we
I'm a
teach
man.
people all the time. Exactly, you're a man, so you should not have any difficulty letting go of the name.
Yeah.
You see, the name is a trick.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist. The date of birth is a trick, doesn't exist, same as your address. All these things are used to create joinder, to trap you into it, you see, to bring you to a legal fiction world. So what you need to know is never use that surname to start with, or if you're going to use it, let them know under what standing or status you're using it.
No, when I write to them, I write to them as a man called Mike.
Yeah. Anyway, the surname is a trick, or what they call the last name. Okay? What's the proper etymological term for it? I can't think of it now. But yeah, your surname is a trick. So as long as you're using a surname, and you're using a Mr., and you're using a nom de guerre, all capital names, you belong to Rome.
It's all corporations.
Yeah,
It's all
but the thing is,
corporation.
yeah.
They're doing business.
Corps.
Yeah,
But if you
yeah.
want to do commerce, then you have to use the name. So you
Yeah,
don't
I know,
have
but-
Right,
Well,
now,
you've got to make
it's
that
not a
right
problem.
to do then.
It's a very, very easy situation. Now, you're going to do commerce, right? You're going to copyright the name that you're going to use commerce in as a trademark.
Yeah.
And that name is going to be your name, John Smith. So it's going to become a corporation, so nobody else can use that. Because it's like you're like McDonald's now, you see. Once you've done that, you've taken ownership of your name. But use your name as a trademark. Copyright it, use it for business.
Well, have you got any information about doing that?
It's everywhere. That's everywhere. Everyone's got this information. He has it. I think Paul has got it. You've got it. Phil, I have it. Everybody's got this information.
That's on the internet. It's research.
Copyright is simply putting a C on it.
That's it.
Trademark, you're going to let company's house know that the name John Smith is trademark. I think it's a small fee to pay, but it's fine. Once you've done that, then nobody else, I cannot use your name to do business. They cannot use your name to do business. That's how to get rid of them. You see, take control of your estate. Your estate is everything you own, including your name. You see, because your name is your, what do they call it? Your name is what allows you to do business. Your reputation is what allows you to do business. If somebody defames you, if your name is John Smith and they say John Smith is a thief, no one's going to do business with you. So it's your name that you need to protect. So take control of it and let them know that, yeah, sorry.
Should we be worried about the degradation of the title? Now, obviously with trust, title is paramount, but obviously working for a bank, over the last 3 weeks we've had a lot of, let's call them action bulletins, to say that the degradation of the title for somebody is getting washed away. With this transgender agenda style of changing, we basically, before you had to go through a lot of legal paperwork to change a title,
Right.
the start of the name. Now people come in with their card and just change it to whatever they fancy.
Right,
Legal
we don't use titles, that's the thing.
With respect to like trust and things though, title.
Yeah, we remove all the titles, so there is no titles, Mr. and Mrs. don't exist.
So it doesn't really matter that they're degrading that.
Yeah, what they're trying to remove, you have to understand everything legal is paperwork, okay? Everything legal is paperwork. So it starts from a piece of paper. In law, I have to commit an act for it to be a crime or an offense. Actually, I have to make a move. In legal world, it's just paperwork. Now, once you remove that Mr. and you take control, now they have nothing to deal with. Or at least, if you're going to use it, use the Mr. as a conduit between you and the corporations. But you cannot deal with the corporation directly, as you're doing now. Because you're always going to lose. Because that's the land of the dead, and they run it. You see? So you need to bring them up. Because they are undertakers. So if this is the ground, they operate here, because they're corpses. That's the ground, they operate here. You live here. They pull you down here by making you accept liability for a legal fiction that is going to name similar to yours. And that's all. That's the attachment. So you need to come back up.
Yeah, but they're committing fraud against you. Every letter you get through your door, Miss and Miss.
It's a fraud.
It's fraud, yeah. They're committing the crime, and I've written to them a personage and their lawyers, Barrowtree. And they never answer me because they know I'm
They're not
telling
gonna,
the truth.
they're not gonna answer you because what you're doing is you're causing controversy.
Yeah.
That's argument, that's dishonor. You see, what do you wanna say? What's your problem? Just calling people a thief, I can say you're a thief, so what?
Well, they are thieves.
Yeah, but so what? That's the thing. What do you want them to do about it? That's how they make their living. You see? So you calling them a thief is so
Don't
what?
mean anything.
You have to make a claim against them. You stole from me, and now I want you to pay me back.
Yeah.
Then that's something. Now you're interacting. But just saying you're a thief, you're a thief, you're a thief. If I'm a thief and I know that, I mean, so what? Big deal. What you gonna do about it?
The last time I watched you, Troy, you were talking a lot about etymology, and there seems to be a lot of books out there about etymology. Are there any you could point us in the direction I
Right.
could actually have a look at research?
I can say our discovery, we've done this for a while now. Now we're not even doing what most people are doing because we've discovered the trick when they split the language, you see, because they create a different language that looks like English but it's not English. This dog Latin business and glossa business, you see? Yeah, so what we're doing now is we're not dealing with anything legalese at all. We're writing out contracts in English and asking them to respond in a similar manner. They cannot do it.
Because they're incompetent.
You see, so all our cases are based on language now. We're not getting into the subject matter of whether you paid your bills or you did this or you did that. No. We're taking the contract and looking at it and say, these are not English words. Could you please explain what they are? That's all. That's what we're doing now. And that's the end of the argument. That's all we're doing.
So, you know, like your gas bill and your electric bill, or do you just, you know, when you get your thing, you just fill the bottom part in and put your national insurance on it?
Yeah, with gas bills, personally, I don't have any, because where I live is all included. But previously, I've accepted for value.
Just accepted the value?
Yeah.
Because I have heard in the past, like, them basically just write a letter back saying, we don't accept this, you must pay.
Well, it depends on what words they've used.
Right.
If they say paid, that's a different story. Now I'm going to engage them in the word paid, you see, and explain to them what pay means in legal terms. That I'm going to refer to a few dictionaries with what pay means and explain to them I cannot pay you. Why? Because we're in bankruptcy, we're in administration. What I can do is I can discharge the charge. And guess what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my national insurance number to discharge it. There you go. There's a notice and there's the authority. Go ahead and do it. That's all you're doing. You're discharging your charges because you cannot pay these charges.
See, I'm just like, with me personally, it's like I'm worried about when I retire, because I haven't got a pension or anything, and I'll probably be working until I drop down dead. But
Don't do
I've got
it.
all these bloody bills coming and whatever, but I'm with a girlfriend that doesn't understand any of this and won't have any of it.
Well, you're going to have a struggle. Because, yeah.
Well, the only one to do is to tell her to put it all in my name, and then I can,
Yeah, you can take, if you're married, is a different,
Not married.
right. But the word you said as well, we're dealing with language. Partner. A partner is a business arrangement, you see. So there's a mate anyway, that I'm going off track. But we're dealing with language specifically, because a word is bond. They create their contracts using words, but they're using a different language, so we're just dealing with language only. We're not getting involved in any subject matter.
she's a qualified paralegal as well, and she's adamant she knows.
She knows the law. They know about rules and procedures, they know nothing about the law,
Yeah.
because the law doesn't apply in the lawless society. Anyone who belongs to the lawless society they have nothing to do with law.
She doesn't do it now, but
And they practice as well, they don't know what they're doing, they're practicing, you see, and they tell you. So nothing is hidden, guys, everything is out in the open. We choose to see what we want to see, but there's nothing hidden, because everything we're talking about has been there forever. And I can refer you to whatever you need today, because we have all the information you
they
need to
do
get.
tell her the truth, don't they? They actually do tell you.
Well, they tell you the truth all the time, but we choose to see what we want to see. We know the government is fake, we know the lawyers are corrupt, we know the politicians are corrupt. We don't like them, but why do we put up with them? Why? I'm saying we don't have to. You don't have to deal with these people.
We've all been brainwashed, haven't we? We've all been brainwashed into thinking that like everything is all right and everything's like, you know, kosher and all that.
Well, just
We've
think,
all been brainwashed.
just think
It's
about
not
it.
right.
You go to a doctor and you let him practice on you. It says it. Welcome to the doctor's practice.
He's experimenting on you. But that's true, by the way. The pharmaceutical industry, it's an industry, is there to generate profit. The pharmaceutical industry has never cured or treated any disease ever since they were invented. Not one. You see, not one. So what are they doing? I don't know what they're doing.
Money into it. It's all about keeping the
Yeah.
football.
Yeah, the same thing the pharmaceutical industry is doing, the same thing the legal industry is doing. It's an industry, it's there to generate revenue. But make sure they don't generate revenue at your loss. So now we know what they're doing, we know what the lawyers are doing, we know what the courts are doing, we know what the police and the judges are doing. So now it's up to you to stand up and stop them. Let them know, listen, I am man, right? The thing, oh sorry, I was going to come back to you about the transgender thing. The point is this, because everything is legal and it's written down, they don't want the word man in your legal documents, okay? They want person, and that's it, because a person is a corporation. You have to bring the word man into your legal documents all the time. That's the whole thing. They want you to be a defendant, a suspect, a detainee, a trustee, any EEE except man. Yet God created man. Man created corporation, man created person. They want you to be person. So God is here on above, let's say in the clouds. The man is on the land, the corporation is underground.
Yeah.
They want you to go underground.
I've
see.
said that to people. I've said, look, you know, it should be God, man, woman, right,
Yeah.
corporations.
So when you draft your documents, use the word man, not the person. But that's a transgender thing. They want to be a person, not a man or a woman. Person.
I think they're doing this transgender thing because they know they're losing.
Oh yeah.
And the only way they can keep control is make you understand that something you're not.
Yeah. They're going to introduce. I mean, you've seen what's happened. The culture has changed so quick.
Well, no, what I was going to say was, because I went to see Master McLeod, who's a trainer, and she told me there is no such thing as a man or a woman.
Well,
So
that's,
as I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, well, no, there ain't actually, is there?
Yeah. According to her.
But,
Or him. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like saying,
yeah,
but that would be an insult. If I said that and he thought he was a her, and I said him, I don't know.
yeah.
Anyway, it's
well, not
crazy.
only that, what I was going to say as well was that on my mum's death, when I signed the death certificate for mum, it actually says the name of the maiden name of the woman.
Yeah.
And that's the only time I've ever seen anything on a legal document
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
says woman.
Yeah, so it's gonna be removed. So that's the thing you have to come back to all the time. Anytime you draft a legal document, make sure you use the word man. You see, no person. Person is a corporation. Unless you're doing business on the behalf of your legal fiction corporate trust, then you can use person. But when you're dealing with yourself and this alphabet people, make sure they know that you're a man. Then they have to respect your wishes, because the corporation takes a subservient position. You take a superior position to a corporation, you see. And they require consent anyway to do business with you as a man. All right?
When I have spoken to people and younger people whatever about this, they go, yeah, that's what it shouldn't be like that. It should be man and woman, government, corporation, or corporation government.
Yeah.
Well, they say, well, that's how it is.
Exactly, it's brainwashing. The way it is the way you accept it,
Yeah.
you see. Some of us don't accept this nonsense. Some people can be brainwashed. Some people can be hypnotized. Some people cannot be hypnotized, you see. And that's how it is. It depends on how susceptible you are, or how much you open yourself to hypnotism. Some people are very easily hypnotized like that and they go to sleep. For me, it'll take you all day to try and hypnotize me, because I'm awake all the time, you see. That's the thing. So with the young ones, we have to let them know that there is no government to start with. Okay, it's fictitious. A government is an empty building. There's a bunch of men and women in there who pretend to have authority, but they cannot prove it, you see. But the government does not exist. So it's about you and what you're doing. You take responsibility for your life and carry on. As long as you cause no harm and injury to somebody else, no one else has the right to come interfere with you, try and force you to do something. Where do they get the right from? You see, I can't make any rules to come to your house and say, listen, from tomorrow, here's some rules for you. You're going to have to live according to these rules. No, it doesn't work like that.
Well, the only reason they make us use their rules is by force.
Exactly. So,
They just took us
so
down.
that's the point. You cannot do that. So I say to people, you have to stand up. Some of us are standing up. And the more of us stand up, then they're going to stop doing it. Because as long as everybody sits back and just observes them doing it, they'll carry on. So every time they use force, you have to let them know you have no authority to start with. Why are you using force? That's why they call themselves force as well. Nothing is hidden, right? They call themselves force. So I'm going to force you to do these things. So they change the title. Sometimes they call themselves, there are three. They can call themselves constabulary, okay, or service, or force, depending on what they're doing. Sometimes it's a service, you see. When you're in trouble and you call them, that's a service. You see.
you could put up with it, Troy, if they knew what they were doing.
Exactly. But the trouble, okay, yeah, that's the point as well. Okay, what's happened is this: progressively over the years, the recruiters of the policy enforcers have been recruiting idiots. Now, if you're intelligent, if you have an IQ of over, I'd say 50, you won't get into the police force. Okay?
They're actually recruiting subservients, basically people that believe everything they say.
Right, they're recruiting morons who have no accountability or discretion. Now, these baboons, once they've been given weapons, they're out there and they do whatever they're doing. But if you ask them anything to do with law, they have no clue. You see, so that's the point.
Comes in.
Yeah, yeah.
They're actually teaching them to actually use police, just basically herd us around like cattle.
That's it's scattering. They're teaching people. They're teaching the policy enforcers how to kettle people, and to force them to do things they don't want to do. You see, that's all there is to it. But when you do that, that's called dictatorship. When you have everybody on their knees and saying that, well, if you don't do this, we're going to beat you up, or you're going to shoot, you're going to kill you. You have to do it as we say. Some of us say this: listen, go ahead and kill, because we don't care. We know who you are. We know who we are. So you do your worst, okay? But the thing is this, you're not going to rule me, you're not going to dictate over me. If you want to work with me, we have to collaborate. Apart from that, I have nothing to say to you. So you carry on and do what you're going to do. And that's about the end of it. Because we know who we are in the sense that we are spiritual beings. He cannot kill you. He can stop the physical body that you inhabit right now temporarily, but he cannot kill you.
Yeah, but I've got a very good friend, Nick, and he's in the police force, and he says some of us do know this. He says, but we're that frightened to speak up, because all they do is sack us.
That's the whole point. If everybody's scared to stand up, who's going to stand up? So all of us are going to go down. No, some of us will stand up. And what I'm saying is, for me personally, on my level, I am willing to die on my feet than to live on my knees. Yeah, that's what I say. So if you're going to kill me today for telling you, please, you're going to abuse me, carry on. If you think that's fear, we don't live in fear.
Yeah, that's nonsense.
We have no fear when it comes to this business. That's all. They're trying to make you fearful. And once you're fearful, once you live in fear, you cannot express yourself. You can hardly speak. That's the whole point. They want to keep you fearful. Oh, there's something wrong is always happening. You know, we don't live in fear. Okay, that's it. Let them do what they're going to do.
But like, yeah, I'm not in this for any money. I mean, I do know that we don't own the bond because they created it. They create own.
Yeah.
I'm not in for the money.
Yeah.
Because as a builder, though, I do find that I have to work in this commercial world.
Yeah.
And but I've managed to not have a bank account for 20 years, so I'm quite
Right.
happy with that.
So the point is, as long as you're working right and you're working for yourself, so every sweat equity, every cent you create, you keep. That's the whole point. Everybody works for themselves. That's the whole thing. Use your energy for yourself. I use mine for myself. Why should I use my energy and your energy to feed somebody else, the parasite who does nothing? All he has is an office and a computer. So all they do is write letters.
That's why I object. I mean, like the VAT. You know, people say, "Oh, well, I need to get back registered." I said, well, "What are you doing that for?" I said, "You're giving the government 20% of your labour now."
Yeah, but what for?
Materials and your labour now.
I mean, there's some. Okay, if you're doing business, for instance.
Don't get why they want to do it. I'm like, what are you doing?
If you're conducting business and you're using the roads to do that, and they need a little bit of contribution to make the roads run well, I'm willing to give that in, you see, and say, fine, because I use this for transport. I transport potatoes from here to there every day, and I need the road to make my profit. So that way I can give you some money. But at least that's a service, you see. But if there's...
Has anyone tackled that then with respect to the council tax? Because we're told council tax goes to these certain services. In Birmingham at the moment, certain areas of Birmingham, there hasn't been a bin collection for like 4 weeks now, and it's starting to pile up, and yet people are still paying their council tax.
Right.
Has anybody decided, because I'm thinking about writing a letter to each of the services and saying, look, don't want to pay council tax anymore, however I do require your service, can we barter, can we
what service
set up something?
do you require from the
Well,
council?
if my house is burning, I need a fireman there. If I'm having a heart attack, I need the ambulance there, but I don't want to be paying council tax.
Right, those things are not paid by the council.
Never refuse.
No, all right, the council, first of all, the council the councils were sold off a long time ago, right?
Yeah.
Now these are private for-profit corporations.
Exactly.
They have no obligation towards you. They're trying to make money, they're trying to make profit. So they're going to engage themselves in activities that make them money. If collecting your bins doesn't make them money, they're not going to, we won't see them for a whole month. That's the whole point. You see, so you need to know how to deal with these private corporations. If they are private corporations, then they cannot compel you to pay them a penny. Some of us don't, council tax, man, council tax is when you're in Chapeltown, about 6 years ago. You don't deal with council like that. Okay, with council, understand the process, okay? A court, for instance, if we presume that a court is going to issue a summons, a court can only gain jurisdiction through effective service of process, right? How do they serve process on you when they make their demands? By front mail, right? Front mail to a legal fiction. And what do? You go and open it, and you claim it. You claim to be a legal fiction, and then you cry and moan when they put these charges on you. You've committed dishonor.
You do literally don't open it,
Yeah.
you do literally put
Yes.
for deceased.
Unclaimed return to sender, always. And it's been like that for years. Because you can't claim something that doesn't belong to you. You're committing postal fraud.
And that's why they mess you up, because you're in dishonor, they're killing you for
You're in
being
dishonor already. As soon as you write back on responding to that piece of paper.
They already know it's mail
Yeah, but
fraud.
I've heard, like, well, basically what I've been told is that I've got a friend again who doesn't pay, he just basically ignores the letters, right? And I've been told after 7 years they'll just come and bankrupt him, right?
Bankruptcy as well, you have to consent to this stuff. No one can just come and bankrupt you. It's a process.
They have to serve you.
They have to serve you process, which is 3 letters usually. If you ignore that, someone will come to your door and leave a note. If you ignore that, then they'll go to a fake court and you get a fake interim, whatever. But there's always at least 5 steps before they make a judgment against you. So by the time they make a judgment, you're in dishonor because you've been ignoring it or arguing with them.
Yeah, you've got it, yeah.
The other thing that I sent you this week as well about the HMCTS framework. Have you had time to read it?
No.
Right. Basically, what's happened is, because I was down in London with someone else from this group, and I see at HMCS, and I was like, oh, I didn't know they were still running. So I spoke to Rob B in the week, and he said to me, no, what they did was they created the new agency called HMCTS.
Oh.
It's the someone from the Tribunal Service,
Yeah.
the Lord Chief Justice, and the Chancellor.
3 of them.
Sitting in
The
bed.
3 of them, the trilogy.
Yeah.
Right. So there's, I think there's freedom of information request as well. So he asked for the thing. So he asked for the full document, and they said no, it's private.
How can it be private and
That's what I said. You need to read
See, this
it.
is the thing. See,
Yeah. See.
but they've been saying this to us for a long time anyway.
Yeah.
They've been telling this for
Yeah.
a while.
So it's what you know, but I did send it to you. So they put that down. Now, these writs that have been coming out, writs of control, writs of possession and everything else, what is the Chancellor doing as the witness when they've got a vested interest in that? That is a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
So I've already started on them already, obviously with my writ of control, being a forgery, even though I was told by someone from the Justice Department that it's authentic. Well, usually,
Nonsense.
Yeah, I know,
No.
it's crap.
Yeah,
And they can't give me an affidavit, because I said, well, she's the witness, I need an affidavit. Oh, they can't do that.
Then
Well,
it's not commercial.
now we're going to go a
Right.
bit deeper now.
Yeah, I mean, the affidavits, what these people do is they never swear, they never take an oath that what they're doing is true, or what they're saying is true, because everything they do is a lie. So when we put our paperwork in, we put it in affidavit always. If it's possible, if you get it notarized, now they even finish completely. Because all commercial processes function via affidavits. When they charge you, that's an affidavit of information, that's what they're doing. They're going to the clerk of court or justice of the peace and saying under oath that they've incurred some injury of some sort. That's how a claim begins. Someone has to incur loss, injury, or damage before they can make a claim. So they go to magician's court and say you've caused them loss in one way or another, and they're going to make a claim against you, you see. And when it goes to trial, to a hearing, there's never any injured party. It's just you and there's no one injured. So as long as there's no injured party, there's no claim. So how can they move against people all the time when there's no injured party?
But the police actually believe that this is true then, don't they?
Yeah, like I said, the police today, they've employed people whose IQ is less than 50. And you cannot reason with these morons because they're imbeciles. You cannot, they're imbeciles. They don't know that the police, they only have power over the public by oath and warrant. That's it. If they have no oath and warrant, it's like me. It's like everybody else. The only distinguishing fact is because they have an oath and a warrant. The oath is that they're going to be impartial and they're going to act with integrity and the rest of it. And the warrant is what they get from the magicians because there has to be a warrant for them to hold to go and enforce. That's it. If they have no oath and warrant, the civilian. if you want to use that word. So I say all these arrests that they're performing, all these are unlawful arrests. The trouble is people don't sue these
You've got
fools.
to sue,
You see, people just moan and complain. You need to stop moaning and complaining. The police did this and that, and write claims against them in their individual personal capacity. You see, so it's man to man. You arrested me without oath and warrant. You.
Yeah, but again, you see, again, Paul has tried to do that. She's tried to basically try and sue the police.
I
And you just
have
didn't-
finished with them, yeah.
Yeah, no, but you kind of like, you hit brick walls with them.
I've sued the police.
successfully.
I know how to do it.
He's done it successfully.
I'm thinking I'm
Commercial liens come in.
okay, commercial liens are private. That's why we need to start doing more than suing them. Because if you sue them in their fake venues, there's a lot of games being played in there. So what we're doing now is we're going towards the private commercial liens. However, we're writing our documents in English. So that from the beginning, from the get-go, it's all English. We ask them to try to back to us in English. They cannot do it. They're going to lose their claim all the time. So that's all we're using now is language only. And they're killing them on the language. When they send stuff to us from their fake de facto codes, we send them back, saying we don't understand this nonsense. What language is this? It looks like Chinese. Could you please write back to us in English, otherwise we cannot deal with your issues. That is it. And that's how we just knock them away.
Yeah.
Don't get involved. Okay? The thing is this, the point is that they want your focus, because they're parasites, and they want your focus all the time. They want you to do anything for yourself. Every time you go out, they have their advertisements and their ads all the time, constantly, everywhere you go. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Because the thing they don't want you to do is for you to find peace of mind. As soon as you find peace of mind, you're going to sit in the corner and realize who they are, they know they're finished. They're going to keep you busy. Or keep you busy with bills, court cases, parking tickets, bailiffs, all the time, and advertising, entertainment as well, you see. Because they're trying to distract you from the main issue. It's the guy, what's the film again we talk about all the time?
Matrix.
No, the other one.
Bailiff.
No, the other one with the lion and the Tin Man and...
Oh, Dorothy Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz, yeah. So,
Yeah, Toto.
who's behind the curtain? Who's behind the curtain, you see? So we've pulled down the curtain, right, and there's nobody back there. Some shrivelly guy pretending, because he's been projecting this stuff to the screen. And he's pointing people to the screen all the time, because he sees television and his magazines, look at there. But what he's doing is what you need to see. He's a wrinkly old man with no power whatsoever. He's presumed. Yeah, exactly. He's pulling his levers and doing tricks. It's all tricks, okay? So don't believe that there's a government in existence or there's politicians are working hard for you. They're not doing it for you. Come on, guys. If you believe that those characters in the House of Talking, the way they behave, or whatever they do in there, that those people actually care about your children, you're deluding yourself. They don't care about you, they care about themselves. It's a career thing. It's an ego thing as well.
I was talking to somebody at Christmas and I said I don't vote. And they said, well, why not? I said, well, obviously they're a corporation. Didn't understand that, but I said, look, you work 45 years, 25 of that is in tax, the poison in your food, the air. Go and vote.
Well, vote is legal fiction as well. That's the wording.
Well, I'm just saying
Vote.
what I talked to.
I know. People believe that, okay, fine, if I go once every 4 or 5 years, I'm going to go to a box, right? I'm going to put an X in a box, and by doing that, I'm going to have control over the country. How stupid can you be? But that's what people believe, actually. But that's what they believe. It's just by doing that, once every 5 years, I have influence on how the country's run.
What I was saying is that they've been ripped off through the taxes and they're being killed slowly.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I
But
understand.
in any case, the legalese word is vote. What you need is an elector, not a voter. If you're voting, you're wasting your time. You need to be an elector, you see. So when it asks you, you're a voter, no. An elector. It's like a driver and a traveller. It's the distinction.
X in a box is strange, well, it's going to tick, you know, you think, oh, what does the X
Yeah,
give me?
X is
Symbology of-
symbology as well. The X is the cross.
Yeah.
Yeah, and anyway, we know about the cross. That's another story. Yeah. But the point is, don't be deceived anymore, guys.
You're right with the deception. I had a parking ticket come through from a private company last week, and before, when that happened, I paid it straight away.
Yeah.
For fear,
Yeah.
pay it straight away. This time, start reading it like you said.
Mm.
Read what is English and what isn't.
So you'll find all the errors.
First thing, contractual notice.
Ah.
We invite you to pay.
Exactly. Thank you.
Sellotape, return
Thank
to
you.
sender. Thank you. Do not wish to contract.
Exactly, and that's easy as that.
It's easy
It's just, once you look at it, the good thing about this legal stuff is this: everything you need is going to be there. Every time they send you something, they're going to give you the answer of how to get out of it as well, in their own wording. So just read it carefully. All the errors are going to jump up, and you're going to refer to them. I condition accept your offer if you can correct these errors. You see, I mean, I've done there's one parking ticket. This was ridiculous. The guy went in there, he parked, and then he, within the time limit, he went out. But they sent him a fine for £100. However, he still had the tickets, and it showed that he left before it expired. So he just took a picture and sent it to these people and said, "We believe you're trying to commit a fraud." But he's ticket of when he came in, and he's where he left. So how come you guys say that he overstayed? And just like that, he just left him. But before, they went £100. So if he didn't know, he was going to pay. But I said, let me read that. And when we read it, so anyway, I said, you don't have to pay this. It's a fraud. And it gets as simple as that. Just read your paperwork, and all the answers will be there.
Did you hear anything back from that?
No. I structured it with a return to sender.
Yeah.
No international treaty. I do not recognise you. I have
Yeah,
no
back to
intent. You have no intent upon me. And I got my. Obviously, I photocopied everything.
Yeah.
Kept it in a file. Gave it to post office and got the receipt.
Yeah, with some of these private companies, what happens is that they get your personal details.
From the DVLA.
Yeah, but that's
They told me they got it.
Yeah, what I'm
For
saying-
250, they bought it.
what I'm saying to you. That is it's a breach of DPA.
Yes, it is. That's
So,
section.
so
Then-
what you don't need to do is you don't need to get involved with them too much. What you need to do is write one sentence which says, "Please remove my personal details from your records." That's it. That's it. That's to the bailiffs and all these private companies. That's what you need to do. Because they haven't conformed with Data Protection Act as far as getting information.
So this is what I was looking into with the DVLA, and they have a clause in there saying that if it's a reasonable request,
Right.
they'll give the information.
Right.
They don't state what
A reasonable request is arguable, okay?
Exactly.
So you're going to say to them, listen, I believe there is no reasonable request. That's about it. I'm saying to you all the words are that. If you believe it's a reasonable request, I don't believe it is. We can go back and forth all day. So that's where we are. I don't believe it is a reasonable request. Don't do this again. But the point is this. They have obtained your information by unlawful means. As soon as they write to you, give them notice of that. And for them to correct. Under DPA, you have a right to correction. So say, I wish to exercise my right to correction by virtue of DPA 1998. Please remove my personal details from a database and give me notice of such removal within 10 days. Thank you very much. Done. Finished. And so we don't get involved with these fools anymore. Don't go back and forth with them. You see, you just jugular, choke them and throw them on the side. The next one comes in, you choke them and throw them on the side, just like that. But don't get dancing with them, otherwise you're going to waste your time. There's too many people to dance with. So as far as bailiffs are concerned, bailiffs have no lawful right whatsoever. Zero. You see? And bailiffs are the easiest to deal with. Don't ignore the first letter, because people tend to ignore them. As soon as they receive the first letter, let them know that. Please remove my details from your records, and that's about it. If they write to you again, you're going to make a claim under Section 13 of the same Act. Yeah, allows you to make a claim for compensation. So that's statutory. You can even sue them under their own laws, which is statutory, which makes it very easy for you. So if you want to do that in your initial letter, you can do that. Say, please remove my details from my personal details from your records, or I'll have no choice but make a claim against you by virtue of Section 13. And they're running off, and they write to their CEO. You see.
I've read somewhere, I don't know how true it is, that bailiffs don't actually have any power on this country. On
That's
the
what I've
land-
said.
the land mass.
I'm
It's
saying
only
to you, they have no
certain
power
areas.
whatsoever. I was just saying to you, bailiffs have no legal power whatsoever. Zero.
Everything requires consent.
If you want to find out, go to Google, a bailiff's manual. It's online.
I'll
And read
give you a
that.
copy of it. I'll give you a copy of it.
Okay?
PDF.
Once you read that, you'll be laughing. Then you see
It's rough.
you see the limitation of their powers. They have no right whatsoever. Zero. Okay, so I don't know why people even bother with bailiffs. You need to go about, there's only one now, because the main one is Gareth Hughes, he's the Marstons.
Yes. Yes.
which masquerades as Rosendale's,
Yeah.
which masquerades as Jacobs, which masquerades as, who else? In any case, it's one company
Equita.
pretending to be,
Equita.
Equita, it's the same character, okay?
Adventis,
It's the same. It's one guy. Okay, so one guy, what they've done is one corporation sets up 100 corporations to deceive everyone, so you don't know who's who, but it's only one. You see? So you go straight to Birmingham, that's where the idiot is, and write to him and say, listen, your minions are bothering me, ask them to stop bothering me, otherwise you accept liability under Section 12 of Fraud Act, and that's, company director's liability for fraud. They're creating fraudulent documents and sending them out to the public and expecting the public to pay them.
It's extortion, can't do that.
It's extortion, terrorism, theft, fraud by misrepresentation. I mean, you gotta make your claims anyway. The point is, you have two avenues to play with, the public and the private. The public is very devious, because if you try to sue a public servant in the public arena, chances are you're not gonna win. You need to make everything private and confidential. So when a minion, or the minions of a private company hustle you, you write to the boss and say, you idiots are hustling me, and I'm gonna take you personally responsible for their actions. So you write your claims along those lines, and you put supporting evidence for your claim, and that's how you do your claims properly on the private.
Like you said about post or fraud and whatnot, I've noticed a fair few of them are public companies, but private
And
confidential.
confidential. How can they do that? That's a trick right there. How can a public company try and contract with you in the private and confidential?
And they're using PO boxes, and again,
Yeah.
they're
PO
not
boxes.
PO box is always a non-contracting venue. So those are the things you deal with. You don't open the mail. I think we had some mail last time we were here. Well, you don't open the mail, look at the back. If it's a PO box to return to, you put it, an arrow next to it. This is a non-contracting venue. And then at the
We can
front,
set PO boxes as well, can't we? There's nothing stopping us setting up PO
yeah,
boxes.
what I'm saying, you can use PO boxes, however, you cannot write a letter of claim to a PO box. You cannot file documents in court with a PO box as your service address. That's the trouble. You see? So if you go to the court and you don't have an address, you're saying send PO box, they cannot accept that. They need a service address, a proper address for you to accept service. You see? Now these idiots want you to contract to a PO box, which means you're going to sue them. You see?
So play the game.
So you can never sue them. Why? Because
It's a non-contracting venue.
exactly, you cannot serve any documents to them, not legal documents, to a PO box. The court is not going to serve them. So you need to know how you're being tricked and how to mess around with them.
I had one the other day, that said, do not send any payments to this address.
Yeah, send it to the PO box. See,
Yeah, I had that. 3 different PO boxes.
PO box in Nigeria, yeah, cool. I've sent some money.
As well, that when they send you these envelopes out, the only address on the envelope is theirs, it's not yours.
What, the front one?
Yeah, well,
The
front
PO
or
box.
back. Well, it doesn't matter if it's front or back.
Oh yeah.
Because it's only their address that's actually on the envelope. They've got a document inside purporting that's showing out with your
Your,
address on it.
in them.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is the coffin that's dead. So
Yeah.
the corpse is
Yeah,
dead.
it is a coffin. I don't know how people still deal with the coffins. The coffins is, we don't have any coffins, but the brown, does anybody have a coffin?
I've got a sticky tape over one.
He's got one, yeah, you can show it up. Here we go.
One of these, in brown. Brown is even nice, a coffin. That's a coffin. That's what dead corporation, that's a coffin, and that's where the dead guy is. He's sitting there like that, and you look at him, he's there, all right? And he's a legal fiction. So he's sitting there like that, and you're looking at him, and then claiming to be him, and opening it,
Nonsense.
and dealing with the bullshit, that nonsense. That's what's going on. That's fraud. From both sides. Fraud by them, and fraud by you, because you're claiming to be dead. And that's how you bear false witness against yourself.
And that's when they put you to this
Okay.
you're finished.
And now because you dishonored yourself and you dishonored your creator, they're going to do whatever they're going to do with you. You're going to pay some fines, you're going to go to jail, they're going to mess with you. That's all that's going on. They're inviting you to go to the land of the dead. The coffin, all right? So when you see a dead body in there, which is a Mr. in all capitals, what you do is unclaimed, return to sender, and you send it back to them. And then you, anyone you deal with, you have to give them the proper way of how you accept service. So you tell them how to write your name and where to send it. If they don't do it that way, you don't touch it. It's not yours. We say to people all the time, if your name is John Smith, Jon Smith, and you let people know my name is John Smith, don't write to me any other way. They write to John Smith. That's not you. So if you accept that document, you're doing mail fraud. because you said it's not you, but you're still accepting service. What are you doing? You're going back and forth, back and forth. So you need to know where you stand and stay where you are, stay your ground. No dead corporation can move you, they don't exist. The people who work for this corporation, they're the ones who presume they have authority over you, they don't. Because no man has authority over another man, period. That's the first maximum of law. Done. Okay? So don't be fooled. Don't be fooled by these people at all. Know the deception. First of all, Mr. or Mrs. is called a nom de guerre, or civiliter mortus, which simply means you're a dead civilian or civilian with no rights. So when you open a document with a Mr. on it, all capitals, and you deal with the subject matter of that document, it means you are civiliter mortus, which means you have no civil rights. So when they write to you with these documents, and you go to a court as a defendant with no civil rights, guess what's going to happen? You're going to lose your case. And then you wonder, oh, how do I lose my case? You lost your case because you have no civil rights, and you've accepted that. That's why you've lost your case.
So you're talking about trust and equity. Last time I was here, many moons ago. With respect to that, is that the be-all and end-all, the maximums of equity?
Yeah.
It's the end game.
The end game is trust in corporations. Everything that trust today, from the NHS to your account. When you do, when you give somebody your car keys to drive your car, that's trust. Everything you do is based on trust. Okay, so trust is what they're using. They're using trust law to run your estate for you because you abandoned your estate. So it's estate and trust law that they're using. Now, estate law is what they use to run an estate, is what they use to run state. A state is just an estate. A country is just an estate. But they're claiming that your estate belongs to their estate, that your trust is inside their trust. So they're saying you have to create your own trust and step away from that trust. And say, you guys run your own trust, but this is mine, it's private. You guys are public, I'm a private trust, we have no business. If you want to do business with us, these are terms and conditions. Boom. You see? And then enforce your terms and conditions.
So you've created your own trust?
I have a trust, yeah.
You have.
Yeah. But it's not functioning right now because I have some issues I'm dealing with and I'm not running the trust as I should be. And I'm not distributing, because a trust has to have a distributing function, which means every so often you have to give benefits to the beneficiaries. That's how a true trust functions. Yeah, so every 3 months or half a year or every year or every week, the beneficiaries receive some amount in benefits. Well, that's already on benefits. You're a beneficiary of a trust. You see? People don't understand what benefits is. I'm on benefits. You're a beneficiary of a trust. That's why the word comes in, beneficiary. You see?
So I'm under the presumption from a lot of people that you're never to be the trustee in any sort of trust.
Yeah.
Now, who would you appoint as a trustee in a private trust?
You can't be a trustee.
But you're left holding the bag because you're the one that's got to make sure you're being trusted to make sure
Yeah.
that equitable trust
Yeah,
works properly.
a trustee simply means that you have a controlling interest over the trust. Well, you're the boss man, so you're running it. Yeah, so you control everything. So you take responsibilities. So sometimes you want to be a trustee. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was
For instance,
more the case of being the beneficiary and being the settler of that trust.
Well, it depends. For instance, if you set up a trust and you're going to be the beneficiary and also the grantor, but you're going to be a trustee because you're the beneficiary. You're going to employ somebody to run the trust for you, and they could be a good trustee. You see, that's what I'm saying. It's not a bad thing to be a trustee.
You don't actually employ him, do you? You just
No.
appoint.
It's an allowance they get. They don't get employed. You get an allowance. It's an appointment as well. It's not employment. It's an appointment. They're on wages or income. You get an allowance. Yeah. But the thing is, you don't want to be a trustee to your own trust in the legal fiction world. The trust created by them.
Yeah.
That's the trust you don't want to be a trustee to. Because that's the Mr. Trust. That's the proper all capitals trust. You don't want to be a trustee to their trust. You see, you want to be a trustee to your own trust. You see?
They put our energy into their trust, the both of us, through the birth certificate, which is a bond.
Yeah.
Which has gone into the CKE trust.
Yeah, I mean, you can say that. I mean, right now is we know what they're doing.
That's true.
Can you set up a trust for the energy? Let's say the gas and electric. Can you set up a private trust to say that you want to be the beneficiary of that, and then you appoint somebody in the gas, E.ON, Yeah, someone high up in Eon, and you put them as the trustee and say, I want to be the settler and I want to be the beneficiary of this electric, but you've got to run this in honour. And put them as the trustee. And that way you wash your hands, no bills come to you,
Right.
that runs, and if that person in Eon doesn't do what they're supposed to be doing, then they
Right,
have
that's going to be slightly different. The way we can do that is with public servants. You cannot do it with private servants, if you will. You see? Now, because the electricity company are private companies, you cannot appoint them as trustees
And the
because
National Grid, are they a private company?
I don't know. I haven't looked at National Grid.
As well.
However,
Because you can talk to National Grid and cut out the private corporations, can't you? Eon, Enco, you can send your
I think-
information on your meter to them.
National Grid is private. Everything is private. I remember in my private government book, there's National Grid in there. I wish I could award me. But everything is private. The point I'm trying to make is this, that whereas you can deal with the electricity privately, or what I mean is, whereas you can make a public servant a trustee of the public account, you can not make the private one a trustee. You see what I mean? So the Eon is going to be a private company, whereas the Treasury is going to be a public company. So you can appoint the Treasury Secretary as your trustee, because he's pretending to run your trust. The other guys, the electricity is too private, it's too far removed. That's my thinking anyway.
And the council is that private company?
Yeah, the councils, there's like 20 councils in one county, sometimes like which one you're dealing with.
Yeah, but all
They're private. The councils, you don't have to deal with them. I don't know. I can't say it enough.
What I'm
I
thinking,
can't say enough.
there's got to be some sort of way where we can say we know what you're doing.
Yeah.
We're now going to hold you trustee so that you run that properly, and then
Now,
the emphasis on the
now,
they
what I'm saying to you,
they
this is what you do it on the individual base, on the individual level. So what you're going to do is this: you're going to take your name and copyright it, right, and trademark it, and then give notice to them. You see, that I am taking over this trust. It's a private trust, so I know you've been using it in the public that way. If you choose to use it in the public, make sure, guess what? I'm going to appoint you the trustee of it, and in those words. So you can appoint them as trustees, but do it formally, which means proper language, proper seals, and signs, you see. But give them notice that they're trustee now, because you can do that. But every time we appoint them trustees, we use their oaths of office, you see. So I'm going to appoint a trustee under this oath of office, and we collect all of them, because we have most of them now. We have we have them all. Any oath of office that anyone takes, we have the act and the date of the act.
Troy, on your birth certificate, there's letters and numbers. I put mine into
Fidelity.com.
Yep.
and they're worth millions and millions of pounds.
Yep.
I'm going to shove that back to the government and say, why should I pay for anything? You're robbing me.
The problem is the minute you do
Right.
that, they say it's just a coincidence that your
No.
numbers popped up.
Okay, use it as evidence. Use it as evidence to create a bond. With Treasury, it's not. You need to give them a bond.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree with that. Yeah,
So you're gonna-
you need to make your own bond. Yeah.
You're going to get the fidelity evidence, okay, that there's money in the account. You're going to create a private bond worth 500 million. You're going to write the notice that goes with it to let them know that for the next 10 years, I expect you to pay all my public liabilities through this bond. And then that's how you do it. Yeah.
Has anyone done that yet? Has anyone done that? Is anyone in the process?
I have the paperwork, but for me, I'm waiting for people who are ready. But I have the paperwork for it, but I haven't done, because I don't deal with treasure like that. I
I'm ready.
have no interest with that side, with the money business.
Do you
Yeah,
create
it's not my thing.
do you create the bond as a man, or do you create the bond as a fiction?
A man.
It's a match.
Because the man is the one with the unlimited credit.
You've got unlimited
You see,
what?
you're using your unlimited credit to offset whatever is going to be a public liability in the future. Yeah.
So why hasn't somebody done that already?
I'm sure a lot of people have done it. Everything's done privately. They're not going to announce it. It's a private.
People have to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how we can get these documents, because we're working off documents that other people created. We're just modifying them and improving them. But the stuff I have is 4 years old. So it was being done then. You see, we're just making them into English now. That's all.
And generally they'll get them to sign a non-disclosure. They'll lose their entitlements if they talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah, so everything is done in private, so you never know. The public is an illusion. The real business is done in the private.
Yeah.
Everything is being negotiated in the private. You never know about it.
So it's open to all of us to
Yeah.
do this.
What I'm saying, when I did my A for V, I stopped dealing with, when I did my A for V when I still had the business, HMRC,
Yeah.
2011. It was easy those days. I did it with one acceptance for value in one letter. That's how I used to offset all my bills. Now you have to do sometimes 4 letters. It's getting harder and harder. And the same people where you're getting information, they're getting it as well. The people who work for these alphabet characters. And they're seeing where you're getting it from. And I'm saying to people, you cannot just pick things off the internet and send it to them because they have the same stuff. And they know they're going to refer you to where you found it.
You do that.
You know.
You do that. You do that. I've seen them actually do it.
You know.
You get the stuff off the internet, just do it. Think, oh, there you go.
I know.
It's socially incompetent.
Yeah.
You have to get, what you need is the information that's contained in this template, not the template itself, but what the argument of the template is. Once you understand the argument, you can draft it in all different ways. You see, that's all you need. But people have been doing this for a while. And I'm saying, for me, my council tax, I can't remember last time I dealt with council. With HMRC was 2011, that's the last time. Acceptance for value, I paid off they want about £1,000, done. And then I asked them who they represented, the 2 crowns, and they left me alone ever since. They never responded, they never asked for anything else ever since. But right now, it's still the same question, because we want to know who they represent.
Could you use this to, not just paying all your bills and liabilities and everything. If you say you wanted to buy a mansion, or something like that.
Yep. Now, the mansion business is the money part. There's the thing is this, because I'm not the money guy, but there's some very good information about banking and how money is created. I know that there's a way where you can write your own check, right? And go to the bank and deposit it in your account and leave it for a minute and then withdraw it. That process is there. And I've seen it, I haven't used it, but I've seen the videos and the paperwork of the people who are doing it. But you have to decide. The fact is this information is too much of it. You need to narrow down on what your research is.
So this is the
The
problem.
people who are,
like you say, narrowing down seems to be wrong, because now it's like swatting flies. One fly here, council, one fly here, parking, one fly here. That's what I'm thinking.
no, in
It's
terms,
just the way to go to.
what I mean is, narrow down in terms of your topic of study. So for instance, you can go the money way, or you can go the common law way, or the civil, or the commercial, you see. Or you can, for me I do the commercial, but that's the only, because I understand everything is commerce. And I began from the common law, so I did that, and I realized that's a fake. We did statutes for a long time, realized, oh my God, that's even worse. And then realized everything is commerce, and all they're doing is basing everything on trust.
Yeah.
So that's why I focus on that. However, there are people who study banking specifically, and how to create checks, and how to do these promissory notes and everything else. So there's a way whereas if you can create a checkbook yourself, and write an amount, and take it to your account, and pay it in, and collect that money.
Yeah. Peter Ringman's been doing stuff as well.
You see. So, but it depends on your study. So if that's your interest, invest even if it's just 1 month. In 1 month you learn so much. And you know everything about that side of things, of how to get this cash.
Troy, I can only owe a debt to another man or a woman.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly, not to a corporation.
Yeah.
No one can be in prison
Which
for
is not
money
easy.
either, can they?
No.
No, a debt.
You cannot be in prison for having no money to pay the debt. Otherwise everybody will be in prison, because everybody owes money to someone. You see. The only thing they can do is put a CCJ on your credit, because it's all about credit. That's all. But you cannot be in prison for non-payment of debt. It's ridiculous. Everybody's got a debt. Except me, sorry.
People sign themselves in there. They sign themselves in there, don't they?
Yeah, that's what it is. That's sinning. Stop sinning. Sinning is signing. Signature. Signature is a mark of, it's a cursive mark. All right? Which is a curse. It's the dead business. When you do stuff, autograph. Okay? Or be a signatory to a document. But don't put your signature or sign things, because you're sinning. You don't need to sin. You don't need to sign anything anyway.
Do you get why you're sinning when you sign? How do you spell sign?
S-I-N-G-H.
S-I-G-N. Silent G, take the G out, what you got?
It is sinning.
That's where the etymology comes in.
Yeah, you're born in sin anyway. So as soon as you're born, your parents inform on you and sell you away to the doctor, who's a dog worker, who said, anyway, that's a maritime, I'll reach the lower discussion anyway. Yeah, that's another topic altogether. But yeah, what's going on is you're being deceived by someone who is a parasite, who's figured out a way to make you live in fear, okay? and to believe that they have authority over you. Well, they don't, because all you have to do is ask them to prove it. If a man claims to have authority over you, ask him, prove it. Yeah, that's all. If you prove that you have authority over me, I'll do whatever you want. I have no authority over anyone here, and nobody has authority over me. That's it. If we need to work together, we have to come to some agreement. That's what they look for, is agreement. That's why they make you offers on paper.
Yeah.
Okay? And the offer is implied agreement based on trickery. So what they're doing is, they're writing a name that looks like yours, putting it in a coffin and sending it to your location and see what you're going to do. Right? And because you don't know, you've been doing shifts and you haven't been looking at the law and you don't know what the law is, and an ignorant man, and you're a human monkey man, and you're carrying on, you believe that's you. You see?
It's not.
Yeah. And on top of that, the sweetest thing, one sec, is about the spells. You see, you have to understand the spells. If you've been trained a certain way and you see a word, sometimes just a symbol of the court, you know, the seal. Some people see the seal and the heart sinks, boom. Or just a letter, you summons, the heart sinks. There's nothing except a piece of paper with some ink on it. That's all. It depends on your training or your composition.
So any books that you, for a beginner, you could recommend? On the etymology side and the symbolism side?
Yeah, we're going to do a talk soon. We'll do a talk on etymology and symbology and metaphysics soon. Because the way we came in, our talks are basically metaphysical talks. This legal business began because some of the audience had legal problems, and it just drifted towards that. But ideally, we are metaphysical. That's what we talk about. So we do lectures. We're talking about Kundalini and chakras and raising the vibration. That's the crap we talk about, and how to raise the Christ in you. That's all we deal with. This legal business is trying to help people come out of their slavery. Once you come out of their slavery, then you have time to do what we do, which is creative things. Yeah, you're going to say something. Sorry,
getting back to that trust, if you create your own trust, I'm in receipt of pensions, well, that's public. That's the person.
Right.
If I create my own trust, would I give them notice now it's turning private?
Yeah. It doesn't stop you from collecting pension because you have a private trust.
On a pension? But what I'm saying is, could I put them on notice now that it's my allodial title and not their title?
Yeah.
You can do some later.
You can put notice.
On a pension, you can't touch your pension.
Yeah.
On your wages, they can.
Yeah, but I'm trying to touch my
On a
pension now.
pension, they can't touch it.
They can't touch your pension anyway, even if you have a private trust.
You could just create a charitable, just create a public charitable trust, get a number for that trust, and then just get paid into there and just use it, just get it non-domestic and just get it used in a charitable trust, and get a TIN number for it, and then it just goes into there.
Yeah, because you can put your wages into a trust. You see, you know that? You can set up a trust and get your salary to be paid into the trust.
So is it got an account number so the
Can
trust
you
never
create
goes?
a bank account then, basically, without a national insurance number, a trust?
Yes, because you can have a TIN instead.
Get a TIN number instead. Get a TIN number.
What's a TIN?
The tax identification number from HMRC. My friend's got it. He runs his trust in it now. You get it. It takes a couple of weeks. You give him it. It comes through. You set up an account with it, and everything you're on the travel trust, you can do the same thing. And then it would just go. Your wage, your pension would just go into that one. Will just go into that one, and then you could use that one just for that reason.
Yeah.
So you could have a private trust that's separate, and then have that one for just your wages on it. You put your wages, your pension.
We've actually got someone that's got a trust here that's up and running, who's going to talk in a minute, so.
Okay, good. Yeah, so that's the thing. Get your trust going, because everything is run on trusts and corporations, right? So the thing you want to do is this. You want to secure your entire estate. Your estate means everything that you own. So it's tangible property, intangible property, movable and immovable property. So everything you own, including your name, you trademark that and you put it in trust, you see. And then you create beneficiaries who are going to benefit from the trust. And then either you run the trust, you appoint somebody to run the trust, and then you step away from it. So there's no liability coming towards you, you see. Nothing at all, because everything goes to the trust. And the trustees deal with that. So they have parking tickets, it goes to trust. Any issue goes to trust, because these corporations can only deal with another corporation, which is the trust now. So you're going to step back and let them interface with another corporation. Because right now, what we're doing is, we're trying to deal with a corporation which is dead. And that's why we're banging heads. You cannot deal with a dead entity. They have to make you dead. So what you need to do is create another dead entity to deal with them. And then you step back and let a corporation do business with corporation. And that's fine.
Don't you think the CKD everybody's trust here should be put into your own trust.
What's that again?
Escovine.
CKT trust, the Roman trust,
Yeah.
should go into your own trust.
They'll have to be give that up.
I don't know. Personally, I don't get involved in anything they've done. That's the way. I have no affiliation with them. I don't care what trust they've created. I don't even know about it. For me, what I want for them to leave me alone. That's all. So how many trusts they've created in my name, that's their business. I don't care. But I won't personally. I won't go and take their trust to put in my trust. It's going to mess up my energy. Let them keep it.
In their trust is mine and your energy, which they're stealing off every day. Come on,
Well,
be honest about it.
Well, they can keep
Move
it.
on, 'cause we're going to talk about
Well, they can keep it. That's the way I see it. Okay? They can keep it, but I'm not going to change. The point is, you want to cut yourself away from the devil.
Yeah.
You see,
Yeah,
you don't want to go back chasing the devil. Oh my God, you know, you owe me something. I don't care, man. Keep it. Just keep away from me, because the devil is the Antichrist, and the Antichrist is the guy, or the man, or the woman who's trying to make you think that you're a corporation, that you're dead.
Yeah, thanks for talking about spiritual things. We live in a satanic world.
It is a satanic world, because right now we're in the belly of the beast, because right now is the time of revelation right now. But the good thing is this, that everything that was hidden is being revealed to you.
Yeah.
So now,
It's not a satanic world, it's just run by Satanists.
yeah, it's not a satanic world. Satanists are right now in control, they're losing control because people are waking up. And the time of Satan and his nonsense is finished anyway. There's a new energy coming in now. Yeah, and whether they like it or not,
Yeah.
it's going to happen.
That's true.
So it's happening anyway.
Can I just make a comment? I mean, it's one of the worst things to go through. I was evicted, and I got money from the equity, and I just got totally free of debt.
Yeah.
And I'm just moving forward. It's a horrible thing to go through.
Yeah.
But with the finance,
But it's a wonderful feeling when you're free of debt.
yeah.
It's a very, very nice feeling. When you wake up in the morning and there's nothing you're thinking about to pay, it's a beautiful feeling.
And if I want something, you know, I can go out and buy it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not in debt.
Yeah.
You know,
So, see, that's how we're all supposed to live.
So basically.
Ideally, on this plane ride, there are no debts, okay? The food is free because it grows naturally. The plants are self-propagating. You don't have to touch it. It blows by insects and wind, right? Right now it's raining, so water is free. You don't need to pay for this stuff, okay? Gas is free as well. So if it rains every day and somebody says to me, they still pay £60 a month for this stuff, get a bucket and put it on top of your roof and get it for free. Okay? You're not allowed? You're not allowed? that's a word as well. We're not allowed. You decide, I'm going to allow myself today to get some natural rain. I'm going to drink it. You see, that's the trouble. We're always waiting for somebody to tell us what to do, because the training from school is that you have to ask for permission to do anything.
That's nonsense.
And that's how you train from the beginning. And as you grow up, you think that's normal. You see, if you're sovereign, you're somebody who's responsible, and you're smart enough to not to hurt people, you don't need permission from anyone. You do whatever you want. You see, that's it. Do whatever you want. You're born free. Everyone's born free. Do whatever you want. As long as whatever you're doing doesn't cause harm, injury, or loss to somebody else, you're free to jump up, I don't know, whatever you want, man. But don't follow somebody's rules. Especially these stupid rules for these legal fiction characters who belong to the lawless society. Don't follow their rules and regulations. What for? And something else I need to let you guys know. When you do go to the fake venues, right? But the fake venues, I mean Magician's Court or Count's Court as well, fake venue. I've got to get back to the point. 1 second.
When you go to their venue, you go to their venue.
Right. When you go to the venue, you understand the trickery, right? So it's the crown. First of all, when you fill in the paperwork, right? We modify the paperwork. Why? Because Crown Copyright has got too many boxes. Falconer rule says that a box in a box is a different contract. So you understand when you apply and you're signing your applications on a Crown Copyright piece of paper, that's jurisdiction you're giving away to start with. When you go to the fake venues, and that's a Crown Corporation venue as well, right? The employees in there, the agents, the legal advisor is Crown, prosecutor is Crown, judge is Crown as well. So that's the paperwork, the venue, and the 3 characters already who are against you. And you're gonna go in there, and you think that because you saw some stuff on YouTube for 2 weeks, you're gonna be able to argue with these people and win a case. All right? It's not gonna happen.
I actually had an
It's not
argument.
gonna happen.
The judge, I said to the judge, I said the document that the police, Derbyshire police when they sent me, I said under the four-corner rule,
Yeah.
basically this document is fraudulent.
Yeah.
And he says, oh, I've not heard of it. So I got my law book out and I presented it to him. I said, look, it's there. He said it was an archaic rule.
No, it's
The judge told me it was an archaic rule
course.
and he found me guilty.
right. It's gonna find you
It's
guilty.
an archaic rule, but they still apply.
He's gonna find you guilty. You know why?
Yeah.
Because
Because I come as a person, that's why I didn't know that.
no, because that's his value. That's his ship. He's the captain of the ship. He can do whatever he wants. He can piss on you if he wants to.
Yeah.
Because the point is that venue is not part of England, right? That's a foreign vessel in dry dock. They've taken a ship and brought it inland, and you are going inside the ship without your papers and going to argue with the captain. He's going to do whatever he feels.
Theoretically, do you need to turn up to these anyway?
No.
When you've been summoned?
No. The thing is, you have to, in commons, everything is commons, so you have to do the two, conditional acceptance or acceptance. So if it's acceptance, it's straight away acceptance for value, please discharge, so you're going to use your notice of set-off and discharge, and you're going to send it to Treasury and a copy to the court for them to discharge. That's acceptance.
Simple as that.
And you use it as insurance,
So
that's
if you get
acceptance.
summons then, is that what you do then?
Yeah.
Do you open it and then put your letter of work in? Or do
I'd
you
say
just-
it's two ways. If it's sent to you, the man, the way you asked him to write to you,
Yeah.
you open it and you accept it for value, or you conditionally accept it.
Yeah.
If they write to you, if you receive an envelope with a non-dig or coffin,
Yes.
you don't open it.
No, I don't know that.
You say unclaimed return to sender, and you send it back. That's it. So,
Within 72 hours.
yeah. Oh yeah, 72 hours. 72 hours is 3 days contract law. So if you don't send it back within 3 days, it means that you accept that document and you're going to perform according to its direction.
Do you put on top of it, can you put deceased, right, and point to the legal fiction?
On top of?
Because it's a deceased, isn't it, your coffin?
On the envelope?
Yeah, put deceased, can you point to the thing, say mail fraud as well?
Yeah, you can. With the mail fraud, we put mail fraud if you intend to sue them for fraud. So that's evidence. So what you do is you put record it for fraud purposes, then you scan it, you see. And then you're going to use that as evidence. They try to serve me, they try to contract with me under this false name. That's why we do it. Otherwise, I would do it that way. Yeah. So I'm saying, get into agreements, however, learn how to write your own contracts. You see, you don't have to use their forms. You understand? That's just a form of contract. When they say you must fill in this form, you don't have to do anything. There's no must do anything. I'm a leading man, I'm going to do what I want to do. Okay? All I need to do is give you sufficient information to deal with my issue. I don't need to use your form. You see, if my name is John Smith, I'm going to write on a blank piece of paper, my name is John Smith. That should be enough for you to understand. What they're saying is, I don't understand. You have to fill my form for me to see your name. Are you stupid? Are you kidding me? That's incompetency, you see. So our thing right now, as I said, is language. If the judges and the police and whoever is writing you letters do not write in English, what the hell are they writing you for? You see, and that's the end of it. Please write to me in English, or don't write to me at all. Yeah, I don't speak this nonsense. I don't speak legalese. I don't speak Chinese. I don't speak whatever language is called hieroglyphics or corporate logos. I don't speak corporate logo language, right? And we give them manuals that we use as well, and we can refer them to certain pages.
So you send this letter back, do you send this letter back recorded delivery? Or do you
Which
send
one?
it back, well, summons, say.
No, not recorded. Don't waste your money.
Don't waste your money.
Unclaimed, return to sender. Done. They're going to send another one. The council tax, we have a council tax stock anyway. We did years ago. We don't, council tax is old. We don't do this council tax anymore. So whatever we're doing here was what we were doing 7 years ago. We don't do the council that way. Now what we do with council is this. Even if you want to open it, if you do it for fun, right? Open it and ask them 2 questions. What do you ask the council now? You have 2 questions. Conditional acceptance. So I'm going to conditionally accept your bullshit. I hereby conditionally accept your nonsense, dated whatever date it was, upon my receipt within 7 days of the below. 2 questions. 1, please provide me verified proof that you, who is an executive branch of government, are conferred lawful authority under the doctrine of separation of powers to issue judicial summons. That's number 1. They have no power to issue summons. It's the branches of
Executive,
government.
not judicial.
Exactly. So you have three branches of government. You have executive, judicial, legislature. Judiciary are the priests, the voodoo man. They're the ones who issue the summons. The some of the dead, and dead people show up. Those are the priests. You have the executive.
Do you send
who
it
is
to somebody high in the council then?
You send it to whoever sent it to you. You're responding to that document. You see, so you receive a document and you take it and respond to it. So whoever's sending it to you, they're going to put their name. If they don't, nowadays they don't put their name. They haven't signed it.
They just put,
Okay.
just put the team on.
Yeah.
The team on.
So now you're going to say, fine, I conditionally accept. Please give me your response. So that's the first thing. Let me finish this. That's number one. By what authority can you issue the summons? Number two is their liability insurance, and that finishes the question. Right? That's the end of council tax. Number one, by what authority do you issue summons? Your executive branch of government. We know you're a private company, but we're going to pretend that we don't know this stuff. We're going to assume that you're a democracy and you're executive.
Demons.
Okay?
Yeah.
So if you're the executive branch of government, since when can the executive issue summons asking a living man to go to do anything anywhere? If the executive have an issue with you, they go to the judiciary and make a complaint. And the judiciary issues you a summons. That's how it works. Not the other way around. So that's number one. They have no authority to issue summons. Number two, they're not insured for that kind of business. They have no insurance. So as long as you have no insurance, guess what? I cannot do business with you. That's it. If you're a builder, you want to repair my roof, and you have no insurance, I'm not going to give you that work, man, because you might cause damage, and then what? I'm left with a roof with no roof. I need to see your insurance before you start work.
These questions you can ask for the people that don't want to suddenly stop their direct debits. You can still ask these questions.
Yeah, yeah.
And just a question from
Yeah,
your...
I mean, this is old. This we're talking about 2015, when you're doing 2 questions. So now we don't deal with them at all, because it began with 10 questions, then it went to 8, then it went to, I don't know how many, but it reduced to 2. Now because they haven't answered anything from the beginning, we don't deal with them at all. And that's how it is. Huh?
But I'm just going to do they basically send you to court behind your back? Basically, do they?
Right. They don't send you to court. They go against another corporation with a similar name to yours.
Yes.
And they want you to attach to it.
Yeah.
And as soon as you attach to it, creates a joiner, you become the trustee of the account, and they hold you accountable and hold you surety. That's all there is to it.
Yeah. But do they do that? Do they send you to court behind your back, even though you keep sending the summons back and whatever?
They don't send you to court. I just explained. They don't send you to court.
They don't send you to court. No, but do they send the legal fiction to you?
Okay? These are, they're called simulated legal processes. In the legal fiction world, the lawyers have created a situation where fictitious corporations can battle and argue with each other.
But then you've got silly bailiffs that actually think that you're that legal fiction.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're incompetent.
So as I was saying, with the bailiff, you're dealing with imbeciles. Don't get into arguments. What's the old saying? Don't argue with a fool. Because no one can tell the difference. Who's the fool when 2 people are arguing? You're arguing with these people, and you cannot tell who's the fool. Stop arguing with these people. Where's the insurance? Oh, you don't have it? Goodbye. Yeah. Where's the authority that you have to issue the summons? Oh, you don't have it? Goodbye. Yeah. No argument, no controversy. Okay? I mean, we get rude sometimes, but we know who we rude. We rude to them when you're writing letters. However, when you're doing your claims, so that's the legal paperwork now, you have to be very strict in your language. And it's about choosing words. It's about spelling as well. So you have to choose specific words to do specific things. Words like I wish, I require, they have strong meaning in law. Or acknowledge, or recognize, words like that. Contract, you see.
If you get a letter, it says we may take action.
May as well. We may is maybe, maybe not. Okay?
Depends how you come back to us first.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe, maybe not. Depending on how you behave.
You look like
With,
an easy victim.
yeah, with us is I will. I'll take action against you if you carry on. I'm telling you I will, because I will. I'm saying don't put down on paper something you're not going to do. Okay?
The Nottingham City Council, Mr Harris, hope you're listening to this,
Mr. Harris.
because I'm still walking around free.
Richard.
His name's Harris.
Yeah, Richard Harris.
Well, apparently they they charged £185, well, after a cost of £185 and a warrant for my arrest, or
Yep.
legal fictions arrest.
Yep.
That was on the 13th of last month. And,
We're still looking for it.
yeah.
Yeah, they're full of it, guys. Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, the judge said that it put a no bail warrant.
Magistrate.
Magistrate, said he put out a no bail warrant.
Yeah.
They said, no, we write our own, you know.
So now, so none of the councillors are going to create their warrants now. Their arrest warrants for people. That's,
Pretending they're a judicial branch of government.
Liability orders.
they want arrest warrant, not an order. They want a warrant.
No, they've gone past that.
They've gone, you see, the point is this, if you allow people to abuse you, they will.
Yes.
All right? That's how it works in nature, in any position. They don't have to be public
Only
servants.
evil people.
Yeah, because it's evil people who abuse others. So if you allow evil people to abuse you, they will abuse you. They don't have to be public servants. It could be somebody on the private as well. It's just characters. You have certain characters who have to control people. It's a psychological efficiency that they have to control people, otherwise they don't feel right. You see. So that's in the private and the public. The point is, do not allow a parasite to control you or to control your head or how you think. Yeah.
How do you get out? My lad has been arrested 5 times.
Yep.
Been to court 5 times.
Yep.
He's gone in as the man. This is in the magistrates.
Yep.
Each time we say,
Are you Mr.
you leave, and there's a warrant out for your arrest.
Right.
For legal fiction
Right.
arrest.
Right.
And the police keep coming back and arresting him.
Yeah.
So it's been 5 times now.
For the same offence?
Yeah.
Or different ones?
No, it's for the same thing.
So you need to go back to the beginning. You need to make a claim against the chief conman for harassment and unlawful arrest.
Yeah, I've tried that.
You tried or you done it? Huh?
You've tried it, you've not done it.
No, you either do it or you don't. Doing it is writing a letter of claim and give it to them. That's doing it. I've done it. So you either put that claim in or you don't.
Claim against the chief constable.
Yeah. Because they're acting on his behalf.
Harassment.
No, it's done, yeah, it's put all that down.
What's the charge? The original one that began the case.
Drunk and disorderly, which he hasn't been drinking.
That's drunken disorder that began the case.
That's what the case was supposed to be, drunk and disorderly.
But that's one hearing. Why is it 5?
Because they've
He's
sent
going
him
in
out.
as the man.
He's going in as the man.
And they're joining it.
They're trying to.
They were joined it 3 times.
Yeah, well what they do, he goes in, tells them his name, they send him out because it's not the legal fiction.
Yeah, no, yeah.
So
They issue a warrant.
then they issue a warrant for the legal fictions,
And then they serve you the warrant?
And then the police.
and then the police come back and arrest him again.
But do they serve you the warrant when they issue it? Do they issue the warrant?
Is he,
Have you seen the warrant?
he's never seen anything, no.
So how do they issue it? No, what I'm trying to get to is how do they issue the warrant? Do they send it to the address?
He's never seen a warrant,
So there is no warrant.
but the police keep coming and arresting him.
Based on what?
On a warrant.
But there is no warrant, I'm saying to you. I'm saying
Yeah, but
there is no
I know, but
warrant.
that's what I mean, how do you stop them?
Huh? Hey?
How do you stop?
Well, we know that.
Well, you say,
themselves that
well, that's straightforward. You say, you've arrested me 5, 6 times claiming you have a warrant. I've asked you for it, you don't have it. So you write to the chief conman and say, these guys have arrested me 5 or 6 times, claiming they have a warrant. I've asked for the warrant, it doesn't exist. So I claim so much money for compensation.
Sue them. You're not suing them, that's what the problem is. They do what they want, you're not suing them. You've got a warrant, produce it. They've got no warrant, it's right, you've got to sue them.
If they say that they have a warrant,
They keep saying they've got
listen
one,
to
but
me.
they never do.
If they say that they have a warrant,
Yeah.
if they don't have it, it's called a false utterance, or making a false statement.
Yeah.
That's all you need. Either record it on video or get it in writing for them to make that
He's
false.
got it recorded somewhere because he phoned.
Fine, so you take
And
the
he asked
transcript
for a
and
copy of the warrant, and they said, we can't give you a copy of
Why
the
not?
warrant because you are not the person on the warrant.
there you go then. Thank you.
You're in
It's finished. Yeah.
And that's on a Friday night as well. So
Well, that's finished. So you're going to write a transcript and say, on this day I called and this is what he said to
Yeah, but
me.
it's still wrong though if they arrest them on Friday, spending the weekend in there and they've done it 5
No,
times.
if you take him on a Saturday, it's like a special thing that they have on a Saturday.
So he goes into court and says,
Because
I'm
in
not
on the
legal
Friday,
fiction.
picked him up on Friday, because it does the same thing.
I'm not a legal fiction.
Get out of there. It's no warrant.
Forget the debating. Sue them
I'm saying
because there's no warrant.
You're arguing about stuff that, there's no point, if you want to remain in commercial honor, you need to stop this arguing.
Yeah.
And yeah, because you guys goes arguing, I've heard people going to court and arguing with the court. Oh, the court has no jurisdiction, the court has no, of course it has jurisdiction.
Yeah.
They have a limited jurisdiction, but you cannot go in those venues and start arguing with them, they have no jurisdiction, because they do. Or, yeah, or if you go in there, they cannot hear you anyway. If you go in there and say, I'm a man, this and the other, because you're not officer of the court, you cannot be heard in those venues.
Exactly.
So whatever you say, it doesn't matter, they're not hearing you. That's how they've set it up, you cannot be heard in those venues. You have to be an officer of the court to be heard in those venues. That's why you need a solicitor to speak on your behalf, because he can be heard.
Yeah, but everybody goes to court to settle the account. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, you need to settle the account.
Michael
Okay?
Regan is an accountant.
They've opened a charge account somewhere,
Yeah.
then it's settling. So there's various ways to discharge these charges or to settle these accounts.
Exactly. That's what you
So
should do.
Okay? So it's not, the common law thing doesn't work all the time. You cannot just go, I'm a man, I'm a man, I'm a man. It doesn't work all the time. Sometimes
to do
you have
business.
to do the commercial process to discharge the charges. Yep. So we're gonna have a break in a minute. And anyway, it's about, legal is about the words and the paperwork. So if you say charges, you're dealing with the word charge. What does that mean?
Charging your account.
Yeah, so
Commerce.
it's a commercial term,
It's commerce.
and in commerce it requires some elements. You see, a true charge has got 4 elements. So if one of those elements is lacking, it's called a false charge. So sometimes when you conditionally accept the charges, we write to them and say, fine, you want to charge me? I conditionally accept the charges upon proof of claim that you know the 4 elements, or the 4 elements are present. Just let me finish.
All the judges are causing,
You don't people not even listen to what you're saying, you just want to carry on.
all the
You see,
judges are
when you
causing.
explain to him how he charges this thing, he don't care. Then you just- Right, okay.
They're in fraud because they've been.
Forget what they're doing. What about what you're doing? This is what it's on. Listen to what he's saying.
If we can try and explain this stuff, we can carry on forever. What I'm saying, I'm giving you what they're doing and how you can challenge them. We know they're all doing fraudulent things. We know this stuff by now. We don't need to discuss this anymore. We know the police have no authority. We know the courts have no authority. We don't need to discuss this anymore. What is the solution? What's the medicine? That's what we're giving you now.
What was the 4 things you would say?
The 4 elements that create a true charge. If any one of these elements is lacking, it's not a true charge. You cannot charge you. So you finish it on the charge only, without going into the elements of what you did.
Forget
You
that.
see? Forget that. You say, hang on a second, your document says charge.
Doesn't
Right?
say what this is and that is. It's
Now,
charged.
does your charge contain the 4 required elements, Mr. Officer Man?
What are them 4?
Number 1, account. There has to be a pre-existing account. Number 2, obligation, right? Number 3, right of claim. Whoever's bringing the claim has to have a right to bring it. And number 4, jurisdiction, has to be brought in the right jurisdiction. That's it. Any one of those 4 elements is missing, it's not a true charge, it's a false charge.
And the 3rd one, the right to
Right of claim, yeah.
Is that got to be the victim?
Yes, or they can appoint somebody else to act for them, in which case they say that this guy has given me the right to act on his behalf, here's what he signed. Boom. Without the power of attorney, he cannot represent you.
So if there's no victim, there's no case.
There you go.
Okay? So if there's no, it's called corpus delicti. As long as there's no victim, there is no crime. Okay? There might be a case administratively, collect some charges,
Commerce.
but it's not a crime. What they're doing is they're using criminal
Statutes on the
statutes
civil matters.
in commercial and civil matters, which is a breach of trust. All right? So guys, let's take a break. We'll come back in a minute and carry on. Okay?